saying we are live. Well, oops. I did it. I had it all geared up to send about 10 minutes out beforehand on Facebook, True Social, X, and I forgot to click earlier. So anyway, I just sent out those now. Golly, am I so human. Let's kick it off on Instagram here. My poor body is falling apart today. And I'm definitely feeling a sort of way today, folks. Don't take this episode too personal in negative light. I hope you're able to somehow turn it into positive momentum. Because I'm not going to lie, mortally today, I find myself very discouraged. And I don't want to show up too much like that. I want to more so breathe light and optimism and seize the opportunities we can, not shoulder the whole world's burdens, and keep things more so realistic for ourselves. But the lack of action, it's got me feeling a certain way. Plus my body's super fatigued doing a bunch of work on my truck yesterday, and I am super sore. Okay. Welcome to a muzzled chat. Where to begin? I really like the image that I came across today. Holy smoke. How true is that? War. A massacre of people who do not know each other for the profit of people who know each other but don't massacre. They do not massacre each other. They're using the masses. Paul Valery, what an amazing quote. Can't we see this truth as to the wars being waged, historically speaking, and right here, right now? And we're going to relate this more so directly to the wars being waged against us personally. Because I feel if we lose any more of our resilience, our function, we are going to be in a very dire place. I don't get as to why more people aren't facing the actual threats that are showing up at their doors every day. I don't get that. There is truly a disconnect. So my question is, at what point, this point in time, do I just throw my hands up and walk away from fighting this war on behalf of so many that frankly do not care, do not understand, do not care to understand, or are just simply too ignorant and excuse their own responsibilities to even protect themselves from these legitimate threats? Told you I'm feeling a certain way. We have exposed threat after threat after threat right here on this very podcast. And we are not properly, as a country, as a people, as a community, acknowledging any of these threats. Any of them. Because they're continuing. In fact, the majority of them are building more and more momentum. Truly, the threats have been worsening, not in fact getting better. Even with all the exposure, many individuals like a muzzle chat, like me out there, sounding the alarm. And there seems to be a mass awakening, but we're not properly unifying, getting organized, letting our voices be heard, leading to actual solutions and ending these threats. This is beyond alarming or concerning. It's like, why would folks not want to show up and protect themselves? Why? Why would they not want to secure their own futures? Even think outside of yourself. Your loved ones' futures, your children's futures. We have proven how so many of these very attacks are directly taking away our health, our brain function, and yes, even our spiritual connections, which is limiting our abilities to even face these very threats. The very lack of organization and proper responses, the proof is right here in our content. I know, me aside, think of all the warriors and all the individuals speaking out on truth, sounding the alarm from the tyranny they faced in the military. We faced during the pandemic. We know what's happening with our foods. We know what's happening all across the board. Yet only hundreds are seeing it. It's proof. Like, we're just not doing enough. I love, the messages that trickle in that just prove like we're having a positive impact, which is great. But in all reality, with the ramping up and things getting worse, not better, my heart just goes out. We literally are going to get what we get, folks, and it's not good. I pray we start taking all of this and the opportunities this very day, this moment in time, to its fullest and do what we can. It makes it extremely hard to show up and fight for folks that do not want to fight for themselves. Or even worse, the ones that want to target anyone strong enough to expose these inconvenient truths to what is really going on in this crazy world we live in today. It is clear the devil himself, Satan himself, is sitting on the very throne of this world. And he's been far too effective. I find too many Christians are not fulfilling the biblical roadmap that was left for us. And they twist scripture even to not show up and pick up the sword against this evil. There are new covenants Jesus made for us. Anyway, we won't dive into all that. I actually had an amazing chat with Billy. He's an active naval officer. Bless him. He's speaking out more profoundly on so many truths than even military men that got the boot. It's not a comparison, just what a man leading by an example, unmuzzled, not necessarily fearful as to what could happen to him, his family, in this existence. I mean, he's an amazing provider, an amazing protector. I just have mad respect for men like that are really willing to show up on the front lines. But anyway, the chat we had, he really brought my hunt full circle in my mind. It felt like I wasn't connecting some things, and there's always lessons to be had, right, from our experiences in this life. You know what? I just want to verify one thing real quick. Bear with me. Just want to make sure this stream's going through okay. It does look good. Okay, I apologize. So, Billy ended up pointing out to me just randomly in the chat, and I believe his was more so from watching, I don't know, documentaries, animal life, things of that nature, when I actually was walking and living it, and I still didn't make these connections. It goes to show how many things I need to, how much more resilience I have to gain. It's a forever work, especially with all these stinking attacks. I cannot believe the amount of spraying and poisoning of the skies that was happening this hunt. But he pointed out that animals at this point have better instincts than we do as humans. Proof. They actually freaking listen to each other. What do you mean? Well, I'm telling you, I saw this time and time and time again during this hunt. These are amazing, majestic, beautiful animals. And it doesn't seem that the animals have near the gifts we do, such as the ability to consider the future or fully contemplate the past, or even more simply, communicate on the level we do. Yet, they are fully present in the moment. And as soon as one of them picks up an abnormal smell, a sound, or catch the slightest bit of movement of anything that could pose a threat, not only does that one react, it's like they all react in harmony, properly reacting to the situation at hand, listening to each other, reacting to each other in that moment. It was amazing to see. And just think about the outcome of this. This leads to effective protection of these animals and even thriving in a very, very tough environment. We could learn something very powerful right here with this. Seriously, how is it we have literally become dumber than basic animal instincts around us here today? What has happened to our instincts? How is it? Things aren't smelling right, they aren't looking right, they're not sounding right, yet we're just not reacting. Think of the outcome. Now, I know it's a different situation for us, but the outcome, it doesn't mean it's going to be better. I mean, you could connect the dots yourself. So with this situation in my hunt this year, I wondered and pondered why God gave me a bear this hunt versus a buck. And as I reflected on last year's hunt, the harvest of a buck and how it literally fueled me in a way and gave my mind and body so much function was truly a blessing. And it also brings to light how absolutely crucial it is we vet and source everything we eat, drink, etc., etc. That we, in fact, ensure our health and well-being. We must fight. It's worth fighting for and dying for to become the best version of ourselves and give those around us that very opportunity. It's So I was kind of just sitting there. I was like, after the bear, I mean, it was a great experience. Don't get me wrong, but knowing the buck meat, knowing the impact it had for me in such a positive way. The year before, I kind of was like, surely a buck would have been better for me in this moment, right, God? No. There were lessons to be had, more powerful, and it did really solidify within me that I made mistakes. I started chillaxing on vetting what I was putting in my system, and boy, did that lead to Lyme flare, weight loss, neurological decline, sleep deprivation, a bunch of issues. So it just solidified it. There's so much to gain from this. But regarding the actual harvest, I believe it was to experience this very message and this profound life lesson I'm trying my best to articulate. I'm trying my best to share to all of our benefits. If we as humans do not gain the proper instincts to the very threats around us, we will or could potentially become 100% extinct or worse. And yes, there's worse than just mortally dying in this life. I mean, you could see all the true epidemics happening in illness and disease, but life expectancy, our birth rates, it is horrific. But what I view as worse in this life is like the suffering we see, the illness, the disease, actual torture. And to even contemplate if we lose freedoms, or we have been losing freedoms, we lose more actual torture, or just to see, for those that have big hearts, others around them suffering. This could inevitably lead a lot of us to even losing our souls. We can't have that. We gotta bring life back into this experience. It's getting it. Where to even begin? I don't even know if I could articulate the words anymore. My mortal sense literally just wants to throw my hands up. When I connect with God and like His will, I'm having a mortal day, a mortal moment, if you can't tell. These things are worth dying for and losing everything. And it looks like I'm successfully on that path. We will see with time. Man. So something else I feel regarding the bear, it represents the predators in a sense, like that we're all facing daily. And I'm to keep up the hunt in regard to all that. Some people may even view, let's get unmuzzled here. They may view that is inciting violence. What do you mean, keep up the hunt? It's like, well, there's legitimate evildoers in this existence actually causing harm. Our world is so twisted that, evil on his throne, whatnot, would demonize and lock up those that would threaten their reign that are actually causing harm. So what's more damning? To allow them to continue actually inflicting harm upon others? Or see to it that at minimum they're imprisoned, or they can no longer at all cause any more harm, saving many from suffering or even many lives. We must not be scared to speak out on the actual reality of these situations. The truth is, I'll be devoured in this chase without proper support. And we are nowhere near where we should be. I mean, once again, look no further than the lack of views on any of these powerful episodes. And once again, forget about me. Just look at the powerful truths so many of the guests have shared. It's like we care more about our selfish desires, our mindless entertainment, than even sharing truth that could save many and actually lead to setting us free. Once again, it's kind of like the very attacks are effectively dumbing us down. And it's time that we gain our instincts back and properly acknowledge the threats around us and actually do something about it. Now, I can't figure it all out on my own. I need your support. I need your help. I need your solutions. What do you see? You could drop them in the comments. You could reach out to me personally on muzzlechat@gmail.com. We can start having these discussions and move the needle or the ball, whatever you want. Move the ball in the right direction. Oh, I feel like my voice is going. Simple calls to action would simply be sharing content like this. Once again, the likes, the comments, make sure who you send this to sends it like out further and hold them accountable, and they could hold their people accountable. Because I really want to keep this simple. Let's keep politics out of it. Let's keep all the corruption. Let's just hone in. We can simply acknowledge, and we've brought all the receipts, we could simply acknowledge the very things that are diminishing our light. There's a lot of things I could touch on that we're to address, but there's been grave polarizations to those topics. And I think what's really keeping us from effectively solving bigger issues is getting our light back, getting our resilience back, addressing the very threats that are literally dumbing us down. We have literally become our worst enemies. We have. We can't just speak into these evil doers and they're just going to stop what they're doing. How else does it get stopped if we don't accept our responsibilities, our roles to play right here today? Think about it. We genuinely haven't been taking the threats or the opportunities serious enough. Bigger calls to action would be emails, calls, walk-ins, protests to our state officials, demanding no poison in our skies or food or medicines, demanding proper tests are done of our environments regarding all the proven harmful effects of the frequencies that are leading to cancer, disease, brain dysfunction, and death. We must demand all this. Come speak out on what the dots you've connected. Obviously, I keep an open invitation to right here on a Muzzle Chat. Or I challenge you to become your own content creator. We need more people challenging these narratives so we can actually organize and face these things. Once again, it's getting worse, not better. It was far worse out here during this hunt, all the spraying the skies in last year. And it just pains me to think how much was accumulated throughout the whole year. Me not even being up here. But then again, I saw it happening down in the valley all year round. We got to stop that now. Share more links, documents, information. Help us become more organized. Financial support to what we're trying to accomplish here would in fact lead to magnifying all we're doing. But it also ensures that we stay in the category of the unpurchasable. Or frankly, it will just keep the lights on to continue showing up. But let's say it, the lack of response up to this point has me questioning. Like, it genuinely is hard to continue to show up for individuals that aren't even, they're not showing up to save themselves, and they're not even doing what they can to ensure those that are successful on their mission. So we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. It is a great threat, the whole purchasability of individuals and what they're speaking out on and effectively getting muzzled. There's some big patriots out there with some big momentum that are throwing blind allegiance to some things that, in my eyes, the only way they come to those conclusions is they became purchasable. They would have me deny what my eyes see, what I hear, what I read. It's not good. After all, let's think for a moment. What did the devil come here to do? It's pulling the wool over a lot of people's eyes. We must wake up. All right, that being said, folks, I got a few clips lined up. Let's play them. I can't wait to get into some of the Bible reads, because I'm feeling quite human today, and I'm genuinely disheartened. My heart already goes out to the innocents, and there's innocent men, adult men, women, and children being preyed upon, being attacked, being obliterated right here during this podcast. Human trafficking, child sex trafficking, so many horrific things. And it's just like, what in the freaking heck are we doing? And I want to nip that in the butt. I do not want to see us continue on the trajectory we are, which is only going to lead to more suffering. I don't want to see that. We have an opportunity here, but with our own function under threat, we must gain that. And then I know we'll start tapping into our own solutions and getting more effective. Okay, let's do a screen share. I reshared this, stated simply, we cannot afford to get any dumber. Illness and disease is now an effective, planned epidemic. Do you even care? Do you do anything to stop this or combat it? Once again, a simple solution is just sharing this to the freaking moon and back. And if it's not this episode, if it's not this cast, there's a lot of individuals out there sounding the alarm on this. We got to take this freaking serious. This is no joke. We're not making this stuff up.
There's just a simple economic fact. Let's not get conspiratorial. Let's not get emotional. We are being poisoned as a population at scale.
Yes.
And that's happening because the largest industry in the country, again, just as a statement of economic fact, makes money when we get sicker, when we get more depressed, when we get more infertile. The healthcare is the largest industry in the country. It's the fastest growing industry in the country. more mortgages when we drive through a neighborhood are paid for by the healthcare industry. More people, their dignity is tied to that industry. And I worked for pharma, and I worked for the food industry, which we can get into. They're very connected. And the raw economic fact is that those industries are fueled by an imperative for not only for us to get sicker, but for kids to get sicker.
Right.
Chronic disease is the greatest economic invention, the greatest profit maximizing invention in human history.
Wow.
Because it's recurring revenue, and we don't die right away, and we think our savior's in a pill. We live in fear. We're told to trust the system, and we keep racking up pills.
That's pretty powerful, isn't it? Well,
it was somewhere between.
There's more. And RFK right here in this one, this might be the most powerful clip of the episode. And I want to praise him because it was so well said, and I 100% agree. He ends so strong. Let's just hear it from him.
What was the autism rate in 1960? Do we know?
In 1960, the autism rate, it was somewhere between 1 in 1,500 and 1 in 10,000. Today, it's 1 in every 34 kids.
Unacceptable.
The CDC. These kids should be.
The frick is the CDC, FDA, all them doing? They're part of the system that's been weaponized against we, the people. That is clear as day. Pandemic exposed it all. Evil really overextended its hand. And now, they're trying to be very sly about it all, folks, and keep us from properly acknowledging things and push the envelope just enough to where it doesn't radicalize us into taking proper actions against the system so they can continue on their tyrannical mission of ensuring their ruling position over us. Simple as that. And if that means a mass extermination of us because they lost control of the information to get the population down to a more manageable level, you better believe they are not just willing, but they're capable and hold a lot of that out. Those plans out to effectively get a manageable population. I just so badly want to penetrate to where we can't ignore these attacks. I almost feel like they've so effectively dumbed us down, they could almost resort to missiles and bombs and we would just take it. As long as it doesn't hit me today. These attacks are leading to even more suffering, more death than traditional warfare. It is, I just don't get the disconnect anymore. The information is out and ignorance isn't bliss, but yet people are walking in it. And it saddens my heart to see the new Coliseum and NFL advertisements and things of that nature, just knowing folks are going to just continue to be indoctrinated through all that poison and just seek mindless entertainment under the illusion of freedom as they're being continually poisoned. At what point do I even lose the ability to do what I'm doing here? It's a good question. I'm ready for God to show up. I believe if evil becomes effective enough on a mass enough scale, infringing upon our free agency, then he's showing up. It seems like we are direly close to that. Dates and times really don't matter as to when that happens, but it seems more than ever we get right with our loving Creator to ensure we fulfill the whole reason why we're here. This is just getting out of hand.
healthy. These kids should be our highest performing kids, and they instead have this extraordinary disability that's going to keep them dependent. If you're full-blown autism, nonverbal, non-toilet trained, head banging, stimming, toe walking, these are kids that will never throw a baseball, will never graduate high school, they'll never go out and take a girl on a date, they'll never use the toilet alone, they'll never write a play, they'll never write a poem, they'll never vote,
Never have children.
never pay taxes.
So that just seems like such an emergency.
And for me, if I could save one of these kids, it would be worth giving my life for it. I'm 70 years old. To save one kid at birth, it would be worth dying for. To the opportunity and the need for me to save all of these kids, I would do anything for.
Beautifully said. To save one of those children, one kid. I'm not 70. But it is entirely worth dying for. 100%. They have been poisoning us for over a century. Wow. Do not vaccinate. They literally, some type of skeleton puppeteer master with a snake written on it. Vaccination. Chasing, it looks like a mother and a child. What does that say? Is revocation necessary? Do not vaccinate cartoon from 1892. Even back then, they knew it was poison. How did they gain the trust blindly, especially here in America, to the institutions that pushed all these poisonous vaccinations? I'm determined. Vaccination does not mean anything life-saving. We must change with how much it's been used, misused, and abused to this day. It just means death. Poisoning and death. Who wants that? Who wants to give that to their children? Unbelievable. More of RFK. He does so good. And this one's more on the food. I don't know if I played this one in entirety, but it was powerful right out the gate. Let's listen.
Today, I want to talk about the biggest myth of the national obesity epidemic. The biggest myth is that if you're obese or overweight, it's your fault. Today, 3/4 of American adults are obese or overweight, including 40% of American teenagers. Back when I was growing up, childhood obesity was almost unheard of. You don't need statistics.
Let's grasp that, folks. This is no joke. Don't let the wool be pulled over your eyes. This is a true epidemic. It's diminishing our light. It's like 50% of kids are obese right now. It used to never be a thing. And as far as adults, anyway, let's continue.
To know that something has changed. Look at the photographs of beaches or state fairs from the 1950s. Something has changed, and it isn't human nature. We haven't suddenly become lazy or gluttonous.
Right.
What has changed is our food system, our
100%.
diets, and the hormone-disrupting chemicals in our food, in our water, and our soil. We are being mass poisoned. Today, they tell you that you have obesity, like it was some kind of contagious disease. They treat it as if your body malfunctioned, and they give you a shot to control it. Or they make it about your lack of self-control. Well, that's an insult to anyone who has tried and struggled to lose weight. So what are they ignoring when they make it all about you and your body and your willpower and your character? And the solution is always a shot or a pill that somebody is going to cash in on. What they're ignoring is a food supply that's loaded with high fructose corn syrup and seed oils and hundreds of artificial additives and flavors and processed carbohydrates that don't exist in nature and that are banned in other countries. They ignore a skewed system of subsidies and make these unnatural, ultra-processed foods cheap. They ignore chemical contamination from pesticides that is wreaking havoc on our body. Now, let me tell you what we're going to do about it. We're going to change the subsidies so that everyone can afford safe and wholesome food. We're going to get industry money out of government so that consumers and doctors can actually trust our agencies again. We're going to make school lunches nutritious again. We're going to ban harmful chemicals from the food supply. We're not going to force or coerce or shame anyone. We're going to lower the costs and lower the barriers and get rid of the perverse incentives and clean out the chemicals so that the American people won't be swimming upstream anymore through a...
Holy moly.
Today,
it's not just the wars and actually engagement of our military men and women. Just like the quote of this episode, a massacre of the people who do not know each other for the profit of people who know each other, but do not massacre each other. Paul Valery. The incentivization, the profit for these individuals to our demise, it's more than warfare. They're genuinely ensuring their status they've gained in this existence at the cost of us. It's so messed up. If we truly grasp any one of these attacks, whether it be the food, medicine, the water, the spraying, the frequencies, there's nowhere they could hide, and we would shut it down. But all these attacks are clearly far too effective, and we're just accepting our diminished states. I do get it. There came a point with the Lyme disease, I genuinely didn't know if I even wanted to get better. I couldn't imagine even having the responsibilities of like, a normally functioning individual, but that's how sickening I was. We got to eradicate the poisons we've already been duped into taking from childhood vaccine schedules, flu shots, COVID shots, food we've eaten, water we've drinking. Luckily, there's a lot of doctors on the front lines leading people to health and a level of awareness and consciousness and excitement. There's other connections I want to make, and I'm going to be reaching out to these other companies that are seemingly really easily helping people get their health back and very affordably. And it's worth diving in. It's so crazy. More and more, we can't deny what we're seeing. Humanity is being poisoned. The U.S. have just conducted one of their largest aerial chemtrail bombardment operations since people started monitoring their geoengineering. Unbelievable, folks. This is not natural. Not one of those is a contrail. This can't happen. Unbelievable. And we must do something about it. We can't just absorb this information and go back to whatever we do. We can't. It takes all of us. It is so insane to not address these things and push the envelope every single day till it stops. Till we get it stopped. Because it's only going to diminish you. It's not magically going to get better. All of us will continually be deteriorated. Why don't we see this? Why are we not all engaged in this? We need proper organization, proper calls to action. Help us find out just that together. I need your help.
Makes us sensitive to Wi-Fi and to the electromagnetic radiation in general is the metals in our body. And we never used to have aluminum in our mitochondria. The aluminum in our mitochondria makes the inside of the mitochondria resonant with Wi-Fi, and they start heating up, and it starts destroying the
what he's speaking out. Many doctors, scientists have proven this isn't just some conspiratorial individual. If you haven't connected those, ignorance isn't bliss. This is happening to your skies. You don't even have to be seeing this directly. If it's happening in a state over, even a country over, we got to stop this, ban this across the whole world. Anyone caught doing that? Are you kidding me? We need to start setting examples to individuals acting this out and ones concocting up these things behind any of it. Organizations, governments. This is crimes against humanity. 100%.
Mitochondrial DNA at a very, very rapid rate. And so it's really the synergy of the metals dispersed in our body and the Wi-Fi making our body a resonant antenna with the Wi-Fi environment. And of course, you know, we're going now from 3 or 4G to 5G with the ever increasing amplitude of energy that's delivered into our systems.
This is one of those life or death choices. But we're not just talking about my life or your life. We're talking about something that is killing the fundamental living system on the planet.
Right.
We are bathed now in a soup that is comprised of nanolyzed aluminum. Glyphosate forms 6 different salts with aluminum and works as a carrier to carry the aluminum deep into our brains. And the only other missing thing there was to open the cell walls, open the blood-brain barrier, is the ever-increasing exposure to radio waves. Half of the people listening to this talk will die with or of dementia. And the main cause of dementia,
I don't want dementia, but more importantly, I don't want you to have dementia. I don't want your loved ones to have dementia. It is proven. The very particles that they're putting in this are causing just that. And we haven't even seen the full outcome of it yet. Why are we waiting? The science has been done. The math has been done. And these epidemics are only increasing and magnifying. Who's going to stand a chance against the tyranny being imposed upon us if we all end up with freaking dementia? The health attacks alone basically secure the devil that's sitting on the throne's victory. 100%. We don't start taking this serious and really honing in, everything's getting centralized. Everything is being bought out. Our farmlands, our foods, everything health-wise it takes for us to even have a chance. And I question whether I can even harvest a buck now in the future with how much spraying I've seen up here in the limited time I've been up here, whether I could even get that much of a high of function off of real nourishment, real nutrition, because it's even being diminished up here in nature. What they're doing in the food plants, with the vaccinations, the control of the food, like, we're quickly losing access to the very solutions we need to even live, yet combat these threats.
Is the nanolyzed aluminum particles. There's somebody behind the scene orchestrating that with the perfect understanding of the human condition and of toxicology, and brought the 3 things together that will, in a very, very rapid period of time, we're talking 6-7 years from now on, cause major destruction of the human nervous system that could be stopped at a switch. We could have a clean world tomorrow.
Let me ask you, do you want a clean world tomorrow? if you don't care, why wouldn't you care about the very air you breathe, the surfaces you touch? I mean, this impacts everything. If you're a vegetarian, this impacts all the plants you eat. If you're a meat eater like this impacts all the meat. There's nowhere. I mean, is there some underground bunker of healthy, nutritional, healthy animals? I don't think so. We got to eradicate this. It'd be easier to stop the poisoning than eradicate the poisons we ingest. And is it because folks believe their definition of a contrail? Is that what it is? Then watch Frankenskies. They bring all the receipts. And if that's not enough, there's plenty of things. But it should be enough for any rational brain. Anyone that's still... I don't even mean to make insults and talk IQ, but guys, come on. This is not natural. Yeah, that's a normal flight pattern right there. Are you kidding? Your food, your medicine, your air, your water. You are being poisoned. Oh, it's just regular planes on the regular flight paths emitting water vapors. Oh, yeah. Ice crystallization. That's all it is. How dumb do they think we are? Sadly, a lot of us are dumb enough to run on that narrative and not even do our freaking research. Not believe what we're seeing. Unbelievable. RFK, I love that he's really combating and going to war on behalf of our health. In that clip earlier, that if he could save one child he's willing to die for, just hit home to me. And that is amazing. And I don't understand why more of us don't grasp just that. I don't know.
We're going to find out why America has the sickest children on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
The sickest children on the face of the earth. Compare the Amish children to the regular communities that stick to the childhood vaccine schedule. Autism's not even a thing. Diabetes really isn't even a thing. However, their sources are even being through these type of tactics. The spraying of the skies getting negatively influenced. So I'm sure it's slowly on the rise for them. But to the magnitude things are happening now, not even slowly. It's happening quickly. And they're putting money towards... We haven't even touched on the bioweapon engineering side of things, of insects, airborne particles, parasites. And why is it that some of my naturopaths literally boldly say, have you ever eaten fast food? Yeah. Well, guaranteed you have parasites. Well, that's bold. So what are you saying? Are they legitimately inserting parasites into these big food manufacturer? Things to look into, folks. Why am I sounding the alarm on this so heavy? Well, I just see lack of reaction to the very attacks being done on you and all your loved ones. What? This is worth setting everything down, sending this to the moon, seeking the answers for yourself. Any one of these attacks, any one of them is worth dying for, fighting for, abolishing, stopping dead in its tracks. Is it too much? Should we just hone in on just one? Should it just be the food? Should it just be the shots? What? How do we break through? We gotta get our health is paramount, folks.
There is
sickest
no
children in the world.
In the world that has children as sick as ours. We spend 2 to 3 times what Europeans spend on our health care, and we have the worst health outcomes. We're 79th in the world in health outcomes.
Doesn't that just explain it all? The fact that this poisoning is leading to so much profit for these individuals. Why would they stop? Why? Such a successful business model. It's even ensuring their tyrannical rule that much more. Why would they stop? They're not going to stop. They're ramping it up. We must assemble and stop it. What are we waiting for?
Outcomes. We're behind Mongolia, behind Cuba, behind Nicaragua, behind Costa Rica. We've lost 5 years since 1970 of longevity compared to European countries. You know, we're getting shorter and shorter lived every year. During COVID, America had the highest body count of any country in the world. We had 16% of the COVID deaths in our country. We only have 4.2% of the world's population. There's countries, you know, we were told
absorb that,
wiped out by COVID because they're not going to be able to afford the vaccine. Nigeria is going to be wiped out. That's what Bill Gates and Fauci told us. Well, guess what? Haiti had a 1.3% vaccination rate. 1.3%.
Okay, straight up, people are trickling in and out. I'm not doing my job right. I'm not. Help me. What is it? Do I need to be harsher? Do I need to be nicer? Do I need to shut up more and just let the clips play? What is it? Do I need you to speak your truth? Reach out to unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. I need you. You'll resonate with people on levels I cannot. It would lead to great blessing in your life, spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. Let's all do our part.
We had like an 87% here. Haiti had 13 deaths per million population. We had 300. So we had 200 times the death rate. And when the CDC was asked about why do we have the highest death rates, they said it's not our fault. It's because Americans are so sick. They have all these chronic diseases.
What a joke.
The people who died from COVID were people who were obese, they had diabetes, they had asthma, they had autoimmune diseases, and we have...
Due to the childhood vaccine schedule.
So the average death from COVID, according to CDC, had 3.8 chronic diseases. So it was the chronic disease that was killing them. It was chronic disease that took them to the top of the cliff, and they're hanging there with by their fingernails, and COVID came and stepped on their fingers and dropped them off. But it wasn't the COVID that was killing them. COVID did not kill healthy people. It killed unhealthy people, and we have the unhealthiest people.
Sorry, RFK, sir. I had enough of the whole COVID talk. Define COVID. All right, buddy. We had I love what you're doing. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to have that mind warp speech without addressing it on this podcast. We are unmuzzled, and we're not drinking any of the Kool-Aid of any cult. The war machine they stood this up. To this day, define COVID. The dang testing had negative efficacy, was defective. Define COVID. There's something else that was causing illness within individuals. It wasn't COVID. If it was a respiratory virus, as they claimed, then why was an anti-parasitical so darn effective? Why is that so darn effective on a cold or a flu? Parasites is a greater threat now to me and mine than any of their talk of bacterias and infectious whatever. Jarga. It's all jarga. Because ivermectin has kept me more so on the mend and protected me against many individuals that were sick. And if I happen to get anything at any point in time, ivermectin seems to just knock it right out. Interesting, huh? If you haven't built up your testimony on this stuff, I challenge you to look into it. Obviously, they demonized that and real solutions for a reason. But could it be the 5G towers that they installed that I believe they're selling us a bill of goods, and it has nothing to do with our cellular connectivity? In my eyes, it solely has to do with surveillance, and it solely has to do with a frequency freaking weapon. Because ever since those got installed during shutdowns, during a supposed pandemic, what are they doing out there during a pandemic doing that type of stuff anyways? But needless to say, ever since then, I've seen a great deterioration of health across the freaking board. And it's been proven from individuals to actually, lo and behold, cause the very symptoms of their COVID whatever epidemic, plandemic, scamdemic, the same dang symptoms. It's not a coincidence. We're not getting to the roots of the issues by continuing perpetuating their poisonous talking propagandist narratives. Period. Full stop. We must question things and actually get to the root, because I want to see freaking solutions. I want to see health back. Fact is, we won't see that unless we stop the spray. We won't see that unless we gain proper control over our food and such again. Here we go. This man hits out of the park yet again.
Food is weaponized. Ultra-processed food is a science experiment. Ultra-processed food is not the free market at work. It is a rigged system where tens of thousands of scientists, as the cigarette industry declined in the 1980s, went to food companies. And you literally have food companies today as one of the biggest employers of scientists in the world.
The biggest employer of the majority of the scientists in the world. Food companies. And who are they all owned by? You connect all those dots. We don't need to go all that. We need to acknowledge the actual threats that we are faced with and stop poisoning ourselves and our children out of convenience because cereal and their preferences. I'm sorry, if your preference is to touch the stove or swim without swim lessons, without a life jacket on your own, without supervision, like, come on, let's gain back sanity and bring health back.
World. They are doing science experiments to make this food addictive and to make it not filling. And that's giving to our kids. That's the problem with ultra-processed food. You know, you have a lot of the evidence-based bros saying, well, no, it's the calories. Calories have gone up in the past 30 years. Well, why have calories gone up? Because it's gone up with ultra-processed food consumption, which is weaponized to make us eat more. The problem, we know how to regulate our calories. It's like, no, it's not. The problem's not ultra-processed food. The problem's that they're one and the same. We're being poisoned and we're being addicted.
Yes.
We have a mass drug addiction crisis here. And we literally have the characteristics of addiction, denial from parents who are addicted to these foods and giving them to their kids. It's because they're normalized. The root of the problem is ultra-processed food.
The root. It's definitely one of the roots. Undoubtedly. So grateful for individuals that speak so eloquently and intelligently, speaking out on these matters, helping folks connect the dots. I'm not seeing the response, the proper response. If I could snap my fingers, we're just so dang human and so flawed. If I could snap my fingers for you and just for a moment feel, let's just say, optimal, just based on, a hormonal imbalance, a nutritional imbalance, and clear out all them toxins and poisons and parasites and things out of your body, I know that glimpse would set you on an entirely different path in this life because I've experienced it myself. It's worth fighting for. It's worth dying for. 100%. But we're not grasping it because we've legitimately kind of just been that frog in that pot of water and we're slowly being boiled, not even acknowledging or recognizing. But if you got dropped in one that was already hot, you jump out. Like, you'd recognize that. You'd acknowledge that. Evil is effectively, the devil himself is effectively preying on our flaws, just slowly cooking us, nuking us through the food, water, the frequencies. It's no freaking joke. We're almost a year in, folks, on this podcast. Almost a year in. I could care less about the growth. I genuinely would be convicted. No money's coming in, but there was legitimate growth. Thousands upon thousands each day or month. Just a lot more growth than we've experienced. Maybe, be frank with me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Am I not doing you justice? Is this not entertaining enough? Is it not informative enough? What is it? Or is it just topics people do not want to acknowledge to see the realities and they delusionally feel ignorance is going to be bliss? As these things are continually getting more and more controlled and ramped up more and more to our detriment. It's not our benefits. Oh my gosh, right there. A freaking football pitcher. Yep, just Coliseum, folks. Coliseum. Oh, look over here. Don't focus on your life. Don't focus on your health. We're just going to continue to poison and entertain you, give you just enough of the illusion of being free and, you know, having choice. We are so weak. Listen to Joe. He doesn't beat around the bush on it.
I saw a article today in Time magazine. Are super processed foods really bad for you? It all started in the summer of 2023 when author and infectious disease physician Dr. Chris Von Tuliken was promoting his book Ultra Processed People. While writing it, Von Tuliken spent a month eating mostly foods like chips, soda, bagged bread, frozen food, and cereal. He felt worse, he gained weight, his hormone levels went crazy, and before and after MRI scans showed signs of changes in his brain.
Changes in his brain, diminishing his neurological function. That actually just reminded me, and he almost kind of eerily looked like the dude on Super Size Me that went from over average health to his life being threatened, within a month? Within 1 month of just eating Mickey D's. Why are we willingly poisoning ourselves? Maybe that's just proven how strong the psychological warfare and the informational side of it has manipulated us. But we want to keep it just health-based because I want you to have a fair shake as to becoming the best version of you. And without addressing these, there's just not a chance of achieving it in this life because we're mortal. And if this body isn't functioning right, like even today, because I overextended my body yesterday working on the truck, I'm feeling discouraged and like I'm not really spiritually even connected, and I feel it. And it sucks. Who in their right mind would just accept this state? I'm excited to do an infrared sauna. I'm excited to ramp up. I've ramped up my protocol today, packing my body with a little more nutritions, trying to take it easy. Obviously not being very successful in that regard on this very episode. I am ramped up. This is egregiously unacceptable, and we've been diminished to a point where we're accepting it. What is that? What is that, folks? Blah.
He felt that Van Tuliken's experiment was over-sensationalized and that news coverage of it shamed people. That kind of language drives me goddamn crazy, as well as the massive diversity of foods that can be considered ultra-processed, a category that includes everything from vegan meat replacements, which, by the way, are really fucking bad for you, to potato chips and candy, which, by the way, are really fucking bad for you. How can this entire category of foods be something we're supposed to avoid? Because it's not fucking
That's just it. I'm not the biggest advocate of all them 4-letter words, but thank you, Joe, for putting it profoundly true. It's not freaking food. It's not. It's not food. Under the guise of food, it's literally poison. And it, to that other guy, yeah, it is dumbing us down. Now, this is a powerful clip, and it just shows a lot of the devil's handiwork. It's kind of a little off topic, but you could see with him being successful in this realm how he's pulling the wool over eyes in all these other categories. Let's see it for what it actually is. And in this, I don't know. If this doesn't fuel you up to be engaged, I don't know what will. Truly, I don't.
Abortion is demonic, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Satan would kill God if he could, but he can't.
Right.
So he kills babies because he knows it wounds the heart of the Father and causes chaos on the earth. You see, abortion is actually the sacrament of Satan. Because abortion says, you must die so I can live. But Christ says, no, I must die so you can live. And chooses to enter human history in a uterus of all locations to redeem mankind from their sins. That's why it uses the same holy words. This is my body, but with the opposite blasphemous meaning.
Right.
Do you think it's a coincidence that the central phrase of the entire abortion industrial complex and the culture of death today are the same words of our Savior at the First Communion? This is...
If you are in a church that has adopted that, run. Do not support them. Challenge them. If anything, run. Find someone that speaks out on the reality of it. Evil is pulling the wool over way too many Christians' eyes. It's misleading too many. It's relationship over religion. All day, every day, forever.
My body. And because Planned Parenthood is not only the largest abortion provider in the world, they're the largest provider of transgender drugs. They call both of those mutilations health care. Did you know this?
Disgusting.
What do they call transgender surgeries? Gender affirming. What do they call abortion? Reproductive. Right. They call them both health care.
Evil.
So if they can't get the babies in the womb, they'll get them outside the womb. They defend both practices using bodily autonomy arguments. This is my body. Yeah. It is not a coincidence that the argument for abortion is quoting the words of our Savior. Abortion is demonic, by the way.
Yeah. I could let that play and play. He fights back the emotion. Because when you speak truth like that, it hits. There is a very specific act that creates human life. There is no choice after that life is being formed. You can call it a fetus. You could call it a clump of cells. You could call it... It just shows me how evil has pulled the wool effectively over people's eyes and twisted biblical truth, like actual Jesus' words. Led people so far astray that they're actually supporting murder. That's a life being formed. It's murder. It's no different than showing up here and ripping me limb from limb as they do. Those innocent lives. We've all been effectively diminished to such an extent. Now, I did take a peek in this, and this is just crazy how these words align. I think this is more so meant for me today than any of you, but I hope it leads you to something powerful. So this little prayer book, it's vocation. Now, as I want to sit here, I want to throw my hands up and just like, y'all gonna get what you're gonna get. We're not gaining the momentum. We're not providing enough actual solutions. And I want to throw my hands up. Come across stuff like this, and it's just like, nope. There are predators. Full circle with the bear. I'm to continue to expose them, go after them, minimize the suffering. Show me the purpose. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who makes things grow. The man who plants and the man who waters have one purpose, and each will be rewarded according to his own labor. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field, God's building. 1 Corinthians 3:7-9. The prayer reads, show me the purpose, Lord. When I head to work or return home, fill me with your wisdom. When I am centered in your will, I feel it, Lord. It does not mean that all is going well. In fact, I have found my trust strengthened during the trials. Don't let me give up on the calling you have prepared for me. I don't want to give up. I only do what I can only do what I can do. maybe I do need to sell my home in order to continue doing this, because I can't imagine doing anything else while these threats are so real. We're losing our way. The threats are ramping up like never before. It continues, as I work with other people, let me reflect on their purpose and contribution. Let me praise them for their good works and thank you for their efforts. We are all a part of the body you have formed. Holy smokes. See, that's where I can't do it alone. I don't even know what part I am. I've always felt like a jack of all trades, master of none. Maybe that's just what it is. I'm entirely incomplete. And that's why I need even more of your support, more of you to step forward. Let your voice be heard. Let's form the body of Christ to magnify the impact and the opportunities we have. While we still have free speech platforms, we can magnify each other's voices. Led by Christ, we are called to find the way of righteousness and integrity. I make this my goal and my pledge to you, Lord. Amen. And to my brothers and sisters. To the day I die. Jesus is calling. Let's answer. Every time. This is putting me a little more at peace. And I'm kind of realizing how epically I'm failing. But I'm trying to do my darndest and show up with all my colorful flaws. It's a forever work. September 24th. Live first and foremost in my presence. Gradually, you will become more aware of me than of people and places around you. There's something to that. Maybe in this moment I don't feel as profound as yesterday or days before, but it has hit me so profoundly as of recent that our spiritual, I'm telling you, it is more real. This is more so an illusion. This is more so the Matrix. The spiritual side of this existence. It's so real. One of the more recent convictions I had on that, when I was seeing the effectiveness of the devil on his throne, the blind allegiances to certain things that's leading to so much innocent loss of life, especially children. I did end up with an overwhelming feeling of God embracing that innocence. To such a degree, it went from my heart aching for them to even slight envy that I'm still in the suck and they're no longer suffering. Our God is so loving, so beautiful, and let's not confuse it with the God of this world that is here to deceive, steal, cheat, destroy, lead people astray to the loss of their own souls. This awareness will not detract you from relation with others. Instead, it will increase your ability to give love and encouragement to them. My peace will permeate your words and demeanor. I failed on that demeanor today. I feel it. I know that. I apologize. I need to do better getting right with God each and every day. You will be active in the world, yet one step removed from it. You will not be easily shaken, because my enveloping presence buffers the blow of problems. Buffers the blow of problems. This is the path I have set before you. As you follow it wholeheartedly, you experience abundant life and peace. My peace has been disrupted today. I'm so human. Forgive me, Lord. We have 3 biblical references. Check them out. It's only going to increase everything it just covered here, even more profoundly, because that book is far more leading than these dailies. I just love how these keep me honest and getting into that Bible each and every day. So we got Psalm 89, 15 through 16, Psalm 16, 8, and 2 Peter 1, 2. Now, we have covered this one in the past, but I felt drawn to cover it again. And it's none other than demons, because the devil truly is at the throne, and we must properly acknowledge him on that throne and our loving creator on his throne, cheering us on, giving us everything we need to do to face these threats, ensure our spiritual well-being, and fulfill the purpose as to why we're here. On behalf, he'll give us all the tools we need on behalf of the challenges we're faced with here, and showing up on behalf of all our brothers and sisters. Worship and false religions honors demons. Anyone caving to the poisonous woke ideology has invited undoubtedly demonic individuals and spirits and entities, and it's leading too many astray. We must confront those churches. We must have them set right, or simply migrate to their own demise and to proper pastures that haven't caved to the one on the throne in this existence, obviously ramping up incredible pressures to churches, religions, and leaders. Psalm 106:37. Demons try to hinder God's plan. Let's seek this counsel, folks. Daniel 10:13. Demons are no match for Jesus. He proved that. Mark 1:34. Demons want to destroy people. Mark 1:34. Could see too much of that going on. Demons submit to the name of Jesus. Luke 10:17. It's a powerful tool. Demons can be driven out by Jesus' followers. Acts 16:16 through 18. Demons are powerful. Acts 19:16. In fact, they can even perform miracles. Let's not be deceived. Demons cannot separate people from God's love. Let that comfort you. With all this warfare, we could still connect to our loving God, the creator of it all. Romans 8:38-39. Demons deceive people far too effectively these days. 2 Corinthians 11:13 through 15. Christians fight against the plans of demons. I'll add must fight. Ephesians 6:12. What? Can you even claim Christianity if we're not in fact facing the evil that is causing so much suffering, innocent life? I don't believe we can. That's a projection. Let's not project. Let's become. Demons want to mislead people. 1 Timothy 4:1 And 2, there's a lot of misleading and gaslighting and manipulation and power. We're to be alert. We're to integrate prayer for protection of demons, the devil, saboteurs, demonic, each and every day, so we can gain the proper discernment and listen to our loving Creator and have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, so we're not easily, as the other one stated, like we can fend off those blows of this existence. Demons believe in God. The ones that are fighting us, waging war against us, know of God. Do we fully absorb that? James 2:19. Demons are the angels that have sinned. 2 Peter 2:4. God will judge demons. Jude 1:6. Do not take demons lightly. Just let that one absorb in. Jude 1:8-9. Oh, right there. Demons can work miracles. Revelation 16:13-14. This is all the tools, the armor, everything we need to effectively fend off these war tactics, gain the peace, the clarity to become the solutions. I pray we dive into this and start taking it deadly serious, because it's more important than just our mortal lives at stake. It's our souls. In the last days, demons will be bound by God. Revelation 20:1-3. I'm so mortal. I'm so flawed. I don't want to give up. I want to continue fighting. Breathe encouragement into what we're trying to accomplish here by simply sharing the messages, getting more on board, getting more engaged, helping build more momentum together. No one can achieve this singularly alone. Let's connect. There's so many. Think outside of the box. There's a lot of things you could come up with that I can't in the spot of this moment. There's other individuals out there. Let's connect with more patriots doing what they're doing. If you have an insider to Stu Peters, Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, any of these individuals, I'd like to challenge Charlie Kirk on some things, to be honest. He is wise beyond his years, and he seems like a very gifted, amazing young man. But holy smoke, there's definitely some red flags there too. But together we could help direct one another and speak on some things so we can actually genuinely ponder, get to the root of it. I only know what I know, and I'm constantly seeking to absorb as much as I can and tap into God's will. I want to legitimately, genuinely, effectively become His vessel. Work through me. My will does not matter in this existence. It truly doesn't. I want to see us fulfill becoming the best versions of ourselves and having a fair chance in this existence to... I'm so freaking repetitive. I'm just going to stop right there. We will see what the future holds. We will see if I can continue on this path or not. Time will tell. I appreciate all the unmuzzled chat warriors up to this point. We will see. I love you. I want the best for you. I know we could achieve more together, and we're just frankly not building the momentum we need to really seize this moment in time. I hope we take it more serious. That being said, God bless you. God bless this country. Until next time, take care.